Hi guys, it's live at 5 time again with no warning from me. Meant to put up a post and to say that I'd come in live at 5 for definite today. And again, I've had a really busy weekend with family staying, and today's energy wasn't brilliant. So yeah, wasn't really sure whether I was going to come in tonight or not. However, I am here. I have gone and got myself a cup of coffee. I hope you notice on my mug it says relax. Went and got myself a mug of coffee and thought, do you know what? Let me just pop in and let me just chat over a cup of coffee with you. And if you are joining me live, then if you can hear me and see me, then give us a thumbs up. Let me know you're here. And yeah, absolutely thrilled to have you live. Or if you are watching the replay, which is maybe more likely, saying again, I've given the warning, then again, thank you for creating that time. I mean, we do have somebody, so that's great. Robin, hi, lovely to see you here. And I can take it that you can see me and hear me okay. I say coming in slightly on spec, because whilst I always, try to do a live at 5 on a Monday, it doesn't always happen. But I say I've grabbed myself a cup of coffee today and thought I'd come in. So in Scotland today, it is, yeah, it's a bit overcast, a bit drizzly. The brilliant summer that we've had seems to have come to an end, but the garden is still doing brilliantly. And it's been a busy weekend, but it's good. It's Monday and a new week, and yeah, that's exciting. Always get excited. Anyway, today I thought I would talk to you about the importance of a balance between the masculine drive and energy of making things happen and the feminine energy of allowing things to happen. Because I think very often in life, people can get too caught up in one or the other. And when we sit back and expect others to fix our lives, to make us happy, wait for the magic wand, when we sit back in real sort of feminine receiving mode, without the making it happen, and expect others, it's that really, if you're not happy with your life, then you're the one that needs to take that ownership and that responsibility for your life. And you're the one that has to take responsibility for the thoughts that go through your head, the pictures you make in your head, the actions you take. And, you really do need to take that ownership and responsibility because, I think sitting back and waiting or expecting others to fix things for you all the time is actually not a very proactive way of living. And it's not going to always bring you best results of what you truly want, what is in alignment with yourself. And what I really want to talk to you today about, and it's really sort of come to me via one of my clients, one of my private clients, who's always been a bit of a maker and a doer and make it happen, driving masculine energy person. And there's a couple of things have happened in life at the present, which has really floored. And, I've had this discussion around this real importance of blending the two, this ease and grace, this intuitive knowing of when to go in a driving, make it happen, take action, take inspired action mode and working to goals where, actually taking that action, and that intuitive sitting back at times to really allow things to fulfill through us and allow things to happen so that we can actually notice more of what we notice in the world around us. Now, I've noticed a couple of you here, so I'm going to actually, just before I start really talking about the topic, I just want to see who's in. And I say, I do apologise again, I never gave you much warning on this at all. I think I said this morning I might do, and I've never come back in to say I will. So yeah, Lynn, great to see you here. Mary, brilliant that you're here too. Nuruddin, brilliant, I'm glad to have you here. Robin, glad to have you here. Philip, it's great to have you here too. I say it's one of these things, my live at 5s. I think, I've got this great plan for every Monday, and then Mondays come, and especially when I've had a busy family weekend, the energy levels are usually a bit low. However, tonight is really about this masculine and feminine energy, and I really want to talk to you about the real importance of that real balance in life between taking that real ownership and responsibility for your own life and your own actions, but also acknowledging that we are met by our bigger presence, that we need to also spend time in that receiving mode, that more feminine energy, to allow things to happen. And it's really about that real balance I just want to sort of chat through with you tonight and just sow the seeds. Or perhaps for some of you, it might be a different way of living. I'm not sure. I know I have worked with clients in my life coaching business now for the best part of, I think this is my 9th year. And I have come across so many people who are in one mode or the other. They're either the drivers and the doers and the take responsibility and the go-getters and the action people and constantly setting goals and constantly working towards goals. Or they're the other way around. They're sitting back and actually just complaining about their lives and complaining about, waiting for somebody to fix it for them. And the answers to me are actually we need a real balance of masculine energy, driving, doing mode, and feminine energy, allowing mode, receiving mode, opening ourselves up to receive what the universe brings us and taking inspired action on that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just as a very kick-off point, I want to make it clear that it is my belief that if you're not happy with your life, if you are not in a good place and you are genuinely not happy with your life, that you do have to take responsibility and ownership. It is your mind, your body, your life, your choices. And to sit back and expect anyone or the bigger presence to actually come back and just give everything to us landed on a plate, I don't actually think it's what life is about. And it's not how we grow, it's not how we learn, it's not how we evolve as people and connect with the very highest version of our true authentic selves. So it is about really that change coming from within you. So if you are not happy, if you are really genuinely in not a great place, not happy with the person you're being, not happy with your situation in life, then it really is about, really take that ownership of, I am the one thinking my thoughts. I am the one taking my actions. I am the ones creating or making the negative or scary pictures in my head. I am the one feeling these emotions I feel. Now, if you are feeling emotions that are not really good emotions to be feeling, so if you're feeling really negative, really down, really, frustrated with yourself, really hating yourself, those are not good emotions to have. So you need to take that real ownership and responsibility for your life. Go, this is my mind, my life, my choices, and really take and instigate some action to make positive and meaningful and significant changes in your life. Because change comes from within you and you need to be the change you want to see in your world. But I think as well, whilst I'm really encouraging you to take that ownership and responsibility, I want you to be aware that you can get into too much of a goal-driven, making it happen, destination place. And I have seen it so many times with clients when they get so goal-orientated. And I'll be honest, probably in years gone by at certain stages in my life, I was guilty of the same. And you get so goal-orientated on, right, I'm taking this action to make these things happen and everything comes down to me. But then you get so goal-driven that you actually miss out on the journey on the way. And you miss out on the beauty of life around you. And also, it's my belief the universe or Lord, God, whatever you want to call this bigger presence, I believe it comes in to meet us when we take ownership of our lives and we take responsibility for our own growth. And we actually really move forwards with compassion, with love, with kindness, with gratitude for life and living. And taking that real ownership for our own actions and thoughts, I do believe we're met. And we are, the synchronicities happen, there are instants happen, we are gifted certain things. But I think, that making driving mode, so I think it's A, take that ownership for your life if you're not happy. B, yes, get clear on what it is, who the person is you want to be, move more into your authentic self. And really, it's okay to have goals. It's good to have goals to work to. As many of you will know, I'm writing a book just now. I'm actually writing two. I'm birthing twins actually at the moment. I'm writing two hand in hand. And it's good to have those goals to work to. But you need to make sure that when you are masculine mode of driving, make it happen, get your goal, break it down, take your action mode, you need to be really careful that you don't get so caught up on the journey. You're like this racehorse with blinkers on, solely seeing the destination of where you're heading and not actually allowing yourself to fully appreciate all the beauty, everything else that is going on around you out with that destination, make it happen mode. And again, as I said to you, one of my clients very recently, this has, been instigated by this, this is what made me think about really talking to you about this today, because, he's been such a goal-driven person all his life and driving mode, make it happen, and very successful businessman and very successful in so many ways. But then when things have happened the other way out with his control, he's been totally floored. So again, it's about that ownership. Yes, we need that. Take responsibility, take ownership for your life, your mind, your body, your choices, the thoughts that go through your head. If you're not feeling in a good place, then what do you need to think or do differently? But also, I really want to encourage you to spend time in the more feminine energy, the feminine energy of receiving mode, of allowing mode, of allowing things to happen, of creating space to allow the universe to come in and meet you. If you don't create the space and stay in this drive and make it happen mode, and that busy, overthinking, overdoing mode, we don't notice the opportunities, the synchronicities that are happening around us, the opportunities that are presenting themselves to us, because we don't create that space to allow ourselves to feel that silent tap on the shoulder, that intuitive nudge, that intuitive hunch, that feeling of being called to pick up a phone, to do something, to be somewhere. We block it. And if we don't, sometimes we don't even block it, sometimes we feel it. We can still feel that intuitive nudge, that intuitive, sort of feeling of, I want to call somebody, or I should be somewhere, or this silent tap on the shoulder of perhaps I should be looking down this avenue. But when we're so masculine, energy driven mode, we stop ourselves actually acting on those intuitive hunches, because we go into this overthinking, logical brain, ego driven very often, thinking mode, make it happen mode, taking ownership mode, that we don't actually allow ourselves to step back, create the space for our intuitive hunches, for that bigger presence around us to speak to us, to call us, to present those opportunities and synchronicities for us that are in alignment with our truest self. And it's my belief that when we take action that is in alignment with who we truly are, the true authentic self, not the self you think you should be to others, not the person with the mask on to the world who is trying to be something which he is not truly. But when we are really walking forward in our goals, in our actions, in our true authentic selves, that real, being the real you and the real world, but the real challenges without the mask onto the world, being open with your own vulnerabilities, with your own strengths, with your own weaknesses. When you walk in that place, it is my belief that life loves us back and the universe responds to us. And, we are met with opportunities and synchronicities, and wonderful things happen. The magic and mystery of life presents itself to us in so many different ways. And when we are racehorse with blinkers on, so goal driven, make it happen, get to a destination, we actually don't allow ourselves that space to see the opportunities, to take inspired action on our intuitive hunches, that bigger presence that is calling us forward to take certain actions. And Yeah, we can actually be our own worst enemy, I think, when we get into that real driven, make it happen, goal orientated mindset mode. There is this real balance in life, because otherwise, if you just are constantly fighting for goals and striving to achieve, then actually you are really missing out hugely on being in the present moment and really being open to the beauty that is all around you and to the magic and the miracles and the mystery of life um, that is happening around us. And it's trying to happen for us too. And I think, and it is about that balance, because I think when very often I'll see clients, I'll speak to potential clients who are the opposite way, they're just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. And again, that is not stepping up and taking ownership of your life. That is living a life of chance or fate and not of choice. And there is that real balance. We need to step up and be the person we were born to be. We need to really learn and grow and evolve and step into that highest version of ourselves. And I think the universe, gives us everything we can to help us do that. Very often, sometimes it's circumstances which, are not of our own choosing, but through which we can learn and grow. That by learning and growing and taking that responsibility for how our attitude towards them, then we are met with that real learning and growth. And, to me, life is this, you want this balance of doing, so that's the doing, the making happen, the taking action, but also this real balance of of creating space, of allowing yourself to be in the present moment, of allowing things to happen, allowing those intuitive hunches to happen, allowing those synchronicities to come into your attention span, to then take that action forwards in a way that feels right for you. And I think, we very much need to move away from the overthinking, overanalyzing, constant thinking head and move down into the feeling place, this feeling within the body, this connecting with our soul and our spirit, and this real calling of where we are being called to go, as well as the taking that inspired action of stepping into our true authentic highest self. I'm just going to put my glasses on. I mean, I don't to see who's commenting and who's in, and it'd be interesting to know if anything that I am saying now is really resonating with you when we're talking about balancing, harmonizing, marriage of, unity of, doing and being, of making it happen and allowing it to happen. About taking that first step of taking ownership if you're not in a good place, of actually acknowledging you're not in a good place, but taking ownership, going, it's my body, my mind, my life, my choices. And taking ownership to create that better life and future and be that better person, but also, to actually very much recognize that it's about moving forwards in this way that is real and authentic to you. And by doing that, to be that real and authentic truest self, we don't want to just drive to a destination, make it happen mode all the time, or we actually don't actually really learn who we truly are. We're too busy just trying to make it look good for everyone else or following through on this, I need to make it happen and sort it. And it is about that real balance. It's good to have those goals, but at the same time, we want to have this active contentment, this active enthusiasm for life in the present moment as we are going. And we want to have this openness to have fluidity in our plans. So if we have a goal and we are driving towards something, we need to be flexible on the way. Because sometimes, what we think we want isn't what we truly want. It's maybe not quite in true alignment. Sometimes what we want, sometimes, we are led or we are called or we are sometimes geared to go in other paths and other ways. And if we don't allow ourselves to feel that calling and those silent taps on the shoulders for that bigger presence and that real appreciation of the mystery and beauty of life, it's my belief that you can get to the end of your days like the racehorse with blinkers on. You get to the end of your days and then you sit and go, I wish I had. or I wish I'd enjoyed my life more, or I wish I'd had more joy, I wish I'd had more pleasure. And actually, to get to the end of your days without noticing the beauty, the wonder, the magic, the mystery, the miracles of this thing called life, to me is not what life's about. It's not what we're here to do, and it's not who we're here to be. And so I really, really just want to encourage you to, if you are guilty of being a constant maker, driver, goal driven, make it happen, take ownership, take control of everything, I want to encourage you to take your foot off the gas for a bit and have regular time throughout the day when that foot comes back off the gas, and you allow yourself just to be where you are, and you allow yourself to be with who you're with, and you allow yourself to open their eyes a bit wider and notice more of what you notice, hear more of what you hear, feel more of what you feel. And if you're the other way around, who is very much sits back and waits for everything to come their way and lives with, trust and faith, as I very much do, I live with trust and faith, but there is that real balance, because if you're living in that way and you're not truly happy, then you have to take that ownership. So it's that real balance of, taking ownership for your lives, not expecting someone or something else to come with a magic wand and wave and fix things for you. It's about taking that inspired action, working with the universe, working with that bigger presence, taking ownership for your life, seeing the beauty of your life, the preciousness of your life, and the real creating and that real finding that true purpose of what you're here to do. And that comes from a mixture of taking that inspired action and allowing yourself to receive, and that real beautiful flow of ease and grace, that intuitive going between the masculine energy and the feminine energy, which is within all of us. It doesn't matter if we're male or female, we all have that masculine energy of drive, make it happen, and that more feminine energy of receiving mode and allowing, and that being, as opposed to the doing. And you really want that beautiful marriage, that beautiful ease and grace going between the two, to have that perfect harmony in life of recognizing opportunities, of moving with trust and faith, really knowing that the universe has your back, that your Lord or God, whatever you want to call that bigger presence, has your back and is on your side, but you play your part. It's not about sitting back and waiting for it all to happen. You need to play your part and take the inspired action and blend that masculine and feminine. I'm going to put my glasses on just to see if any of you have got any thoughts around this. Heather, it's lovely. I say, Mary Lynn, it's great to see you. Nuruddin, Heather, hi Heather, lovely to have you here. Yeah, Lynn, it's a bit like yin and yang. It's about that real, we need that balance. It's not about one thing or another. We need that real beautiful balance in life, and that doing and the being, and that real, the drive, make it happen, the allowing things to happen, that receiving mode, that, that drive mode. So it's very much about that real beautiful harmony and balance. Mandy, hi, lovely for you to join me today. Mary, brilliant that you've made it. It's lovely. I'm thrilled that you've made it on time today. Very often you're in late and I get the replay. Yeah, Lynn, hi. Yeah, great to see you. Lynn, I feel so much happier since I started to listen to my soul rather than my ego. Yeah. Our ego is that bit that worries about what people are thinking, what people are saying, that drives us to try and be someone, someone that we feel is acceptable, society acceptable, or society successful, or, it's just the ego is all, and it's actually, we need to, and that is the head. And, and to me, you need to drop down regularly into the stillness of your body and connect with your soul. And, when you touch your soul, you become fearless. I really went through, as most of you here that follow my page know, I have ongoing physical health problems. And I also was very ill years ago, had carers in, etc., used a wheelchair, and had many years of being really seriously, not well, not able to work. And I turned it around, and in my mind, I'd crafted my own recovery. I now know I'd actually was in a sort of part remission at the time. I hadn't crafted my own recovery as such. But when I started getting physical challenges again around 3.5 years ago, at first I was in this real denial mode, probably, of going, this can't be happening to me again, not now. Because I'd almost felt I was superwoman when I turned it around before, after a good 10, 15 years of real bad health. But the beautiful thing was when I dropped from the ego and the head, and this dropping from trying to keep this persona going within my coaching practice of the person I thought everyone expected me to be as a coach, which at that stage was very much about mindset and success. And I dropped down into my body and I connected with my soul, and connected in that way where this is me, the soul and spirit within. I became absolutely fearless. And fear, really drop the fear of judgment, drop the fear of failure, drop the fear of, feeling that I would let anybody down if I wasn't acting in certain ways. That all went when I connected with my soul. And I am absolutely a believer of, I'm not my physical body. My physical body is, it's a suit and a habit while I'm on this earth in human form. It's the vehicle through which I function. It's not who I am. It's the soul and spirit within. And when we listen to that soul and spirit within us, that is when we move forwards in our truest, authentic, real selves and connect with that highest version of ourselves. And so if, I always say to people, if you're not sure of where you want to go in life, what you want to do, if you're not in a great place, but are not sure of the path to take, whatever genuine question you want to ask yourself, ask it to your head first by all means. You'll get the logical answer, you'll get the practical answer. Be very wary. You might get the ego answer as well, the ego jumping in to say, oh, that would look, it's almost like going, oh, that would look good in other eyes, or that's what's expected of me, or that would please a family member. But ask your head, but always drop down and ask your heart, and even more, drop from your heart to your soul and your gut. How does that feel for me? And yeah, Lynn, as you're saying, so much happier since you started listening to your soul rather than your ego. Your soul is your true self. Your soul is what knows you. Your soul is who you are. Your ego isn't. That's just your logical thinking head that feels that you need to be act in certain ways in society. Mary, always trying to be just me, not what others expect me to be, just want to be who I am. Give yourself permission, Mary. Absolutely. Give yourself permission right here, right now, to be who you are, to walk your truth, to be open in your own vulnerabilities, your own strengths, your own weaknesses. Allow yourself to be who you truly are, and just park all fear of judgment, park all fear of what would people think or say, all thoughts around I'd be letting people down, because actually, when you are your truest, most authentic, real self, that is when you are giving of your best to the world. That is when you are at your best, you give of your best, because each and every one of us is unique and special and beautiful, and has a unique set of skills and knowledge and resources and talents and personality traits and gifts and passions. And, we're here also, I believe, with a unique function to fulfill while we're here on this earth. We cannot fulfill it if we are not allowing ourselves to be our authentic selves, to connect with the soul and spirit. And, we can't be that person if we don't really know who we truly are and give ourselves permission to be that person. So Mary, give yourself permission right here, right now. I'm giving you permission. Be you. And it's hugely freeing. And I think, for me, I spent, my goodness, well over 50 years of my life with fear of judgment of what people would think or say, with trying to, never allowing myself to be myself, and in truth, not even knowing who I was, because I was so used to putting the mask onto the world, of letting people see the side that I chose to show them, which, and actually it's such a freeing thing when you go, well, this is me. This is actually me with all my foibles, with all my vulnerabilities, with, but you know, that is the most beautiful thing, is when we gift our truest selves to life. And when we are open to receive what is called from us and take that inspired action and blend that, yes, that responsibility to do and make happen, but also really accept the beauty and the gifts and the magic and the mystery that go in when we step into that alignment with our truest selves and allow ourselves to be that person. So yeah, quite deep stuff today, isn't it? Yeah, quite deep stuff. I think, you know, there's so many. I am at such a place in my life just now that there is so much growth at a very deep spiritual level for me just now. And I am so supported and so loved by a much bigger presence right now. And it's just, yeah, it's obviously coming out in my, what I'm sharing with you, and very much so in my writing just now. So yeah, Mary, I definitely need to be ignoring my thoughts. Do you know, I think when it comes to thoughts, Mary, you know, it's about recognizing they're yours, you know, and sometimes, you know, our thoughts, they're ones that have been fed to us over the years and we're just replaying them. So they become ours. We kind of take that ownership of them, but they might have started somewhere else. And again, with our thoughts, very often it's just like learned behavior, it's patterns, it's a learned patterned way of thinking. We replay thoughts over and over. When we replay them over and over enough, they become our beliefs. We start believing that these things are true. And actually, you know, I believe that we should all really look at the beliefs we hold on a regular basis and question them and query with them and reaffirm the beliefs we have. And, you know, just because you think something doesn't necessarily make it a truth, doesn't necessarily make it reality. So again, when it comes to your thoughts, you know, recognize that if you're having a lot of negative thoughts, we've talked about this before, Mary, about that negative cycle. Negative thinking brings negative emotions, negative actions, negative results. And it's a learned pattern of behavior that the brain hooks onto until almost it becomes your default mode. And we need to interrupt it. You know, so if a negative thought comes into your head, you know, it's okay to acknowledge it. You know, I'll very often just go, well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. However, that does not serve me well to continue to think in this way. I am choosing to think something different so that I can feel differently and move in my day. And again, you know, we're not always responsible for what happens to us, but we do have that ability as to how we choose to react, and that responsibility to ourselves to walk our own truths, to be our truest selves, to shine our unique light out into the world and serve the function, serve our unique purpose there. And, you know, we're not here. I don't believe we're here on this earth to be miserable. I don't believe we're here on this earth to be stuck on a treadmill existence. I believe we're here to live life fully, the breadth of it, the width of it, the length of it, to shine as bright as we possibly can, to help others to play our own unique function, which is our own story. You know, own your own story, own your own unique strengths and skills and knowledge and experiences and wisdom, and use it. You know, ask, you know, really spend time in that receiving mode of what am I being called to do here, but then have the courage to act on it and go into that making it happen mode. Ken, lovely to see you. I hope the weather's good in Ireland. I am absolutely desperate to come over to Ireland at some point. It's on my bucket list. Just as last week I was telling you, New Zealand's on my bucket list, so is Ireland. Mary, remember with the Shirley Bassey, I am what I am. Yeah, absolutely. I am what I am. And also, I don't know if you've seen the film The Greatest Showman and that lovely song, This Is Me. I absolutely adore that song from The Greatest Showman, This Is Me. It's just, it resonates so strongly for me. I often blast it around the house. But yeah, the Shirley Bassey one, I remember that one well as well. I'm what I am. Lynn, yeah, telling me I'm definitely fearless. Yeah, I am. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And but it took me probably until the last 3 years to be in that place. You know, so I spent a lot of my life with a lot of fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of what the future holds, fear of what if my health gets worse, fear of all these things. And to have completely parked that and to just be connected to that soul and spirit within, to know I can handle whatever life throws at me, to move forwards with no fear, but with trust and faith, is an amazingly beautiful place to be. And if I can do it, then you can do it too. And every single person who watches or listens to what I say is in that same position. If I can do it, so can you. Mary, maybe let our vulnerability has to come through at times. We can't always be superwomen and putting others first. Absolutely not. I honestly, I think, I went through a period of thinking I was superwoman, acting like superwoman, and given a persona of superwoman, especially after I turned my illness around in the past before, and got some significant improvement after being told I never would. And I felt like superwoman. But the problem is you put the persona, once you start feeling like that and you start acting like that, when things start maybe happening that you hadn't really expected, it can really sort of throw you, and it can really sort of create some vulnerable edges. So you need to park it, because that superwoman thing is about ego. That's your ego just trying to encourage you to be the person, that you, because you're feeling the judgment of others, or be that person in other people's eyes. Be the best, be whatever. So yeah, and I think there is a real truth and a beauty in vulnerability, and that is really why now I am so open with you all here. I like to think that I come to these videos, and in everything I say to you, and in everything I share with you, as the truth of me. And if that means that sometimes you see me not in a really great place physically. I mean, look at today, I've got my arms strapped up, I've got patches on my shoulder, patches on my hands, I've got patches on the soles of my feet because I can't get shoes on today. That's just my truth. It is as it is for me. I am where I am. Doesn't mean life's not precious. But I've been honest and been open with you and allowing you into this vulnerable truth of who I am. But with this real beauty within me of I'm soul and spirit, and actually I have this deep happiness and deep contentment that nobody can rock, then I think that is a gift for me to share with you. And I think that's a much bigger gift and a much bigger message than me being superwoman and talking all about mindset and how you can achieve everything, set your mind to it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe in the power of the mind, because I absolutely do. What we think, what we say, what the pictures we make in our mind, they are absolutely crucial to our moving forward, the way we live our lives. However, there is a lot more to it than that. It is not all about mindset, believe it, and it's yours. You have to take the inspired action. You have to connect within and know who you truly are, or otherwise you might be taking action for just taking action's sake, to look good in others' eyes, to go after something because you feel it's what it should do or ought to do. You need to connect with the soul and spirit and go in receiving mode, to really connect with what you feel called to do and what you're here to do, and then take action on that. And that is a very different place. Right, let's see. Going to try harder to connect to my soul, Maureen. Thank you so much. Create space, Mary. Really create space. It's difficult to connect with your soul if you live constantly a busy, busy life in overthinking, overdoing, make it happen mode. Create space. Every single morning I create space. I have time for me. And I sit, and I do a bit of reading and I do a bit of writing, and I sit in quiet meditation or quiet breathing, just quiet space. And at the end of that, having some quiet space, I will always ask, what do I most need to hear right now? And I'm asking that question to my soul. I'm asking that question to the bigger presence around me. And it's absolutely incredible what I sometimes hear. And I will hear quite a specific action I need to take or need to do. And I always do it. I take that action. That's inspired action. I act on those voices, that intuitive feeling and calling. And yeah, it's about walking the truth and walking the truth with you. Mary had counselling years ago, and your first words were, I don't know who I am. It seems a strange thing to say. Do you know what? To me, it's not a strange thing to say at all. I honestly, I didn't know who I was. If you'd gone back 10 years with me, I had no idea who I was. I was married before I married Pete. You know, I was married before to somebody for 28 years. And when I left and started out a life on my own again, I was very aware I had no idea who I was. I didn't know what I liked, what I enjoyed, what made me tick. I didn't know the truth of who I was anymore. And it was in a very scary time. But there was also a much bigger calling and a bigger message in me of needing and wanting to be happy and have a desire for happiness and a desire for living. So I think, a lot of us go through at some point in our life going, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know who I am. I've lost touch with the true authentic me. And I think, we're born as our true authentic selves, but as we go through life, we are mentally conditioned, we're mentally programmed by society, by events, by circumstances, by people's communication, by the own message we tell ourselves, the own story we tell ourselves about who we are. And if we are not too careful, yeah, we fall out of alignment with who we truly are, with that soul and that spirit. And that's who we need to connect with, to get ourselves back in alignment and know the truth of who we are and walk our truth. There's a saying somewhere, I'm sure, my thoughts are my mother's, just as well, you're my mum. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't realise, Lynn that's watching today is my daughter. Yeah, I'm very gorgeous with it, very gorgeous with it. Yeah, I love that song, That's Me. Yeah, it's that one from the, makes me cry. It's still always Superwoman. Lovely, right. It's hard to lose your identity, but it can be fun finding again. And I think, again, that is a real powerful statement to make. Because when you lose your identity, when you lose sight of who you truly are, it can feel a scary, vulnerable place. It can feel that everything's against you. You can feel like this person who's living outside, looking inside on everyone else. I used to feel I was kind of living on the outside of life, watching life happen to everybody else. And here was me on the outside, in this place of not knowing where I fitted in, not knowing who I was, not knowing what lit the light in me, what fired that divine spark within me. And that can be a scary place, and it can take our confidence. It can really, if you're not careful, take you to quite a bitter, dark place. So yes, it can be scary, but partly the first thing is actually acknowledging that's where you are. Because as soon as you go, actually, I've lost sight of who I am, and this isn't a great place to stay. As soon as you acknowledge that and develop that self-awareness, you can start taking the steps to turn it around. And you can start really, and again, with most of my clients, I will make them sit in the first session or two, doing a bit of an inventory on who they truly are. What is your skills, your knowledge, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, your talents? What are the things that make your heart sing? What are the things that nourish and feed you? What are the things that drain you? And we look at work and career, we look at play and home life, we look at family life, things you do for yourself, and look at things, really get that. It's like bundle of resources. Really get down on paper your bundle of resources. Really look at who you are. And then really look at what are the things that are in alignment with who you are, and which bits of those aren't important to you, don't sing or speak to you, aren't in alignment with who you are more your ego talking, more you trying to be somebody you think you should be. And really move forward in the way. Do more of the things that bring you joy, make you feel happy, are in alignment with your soul, that feel good, that feel like the comfiest pair of shoes ever. And any pebble in your shoe that keeps niggling away, work out what the pebble is and park it. Yeah, I just said what Mary, yeah, your son says you overthink all the time. It's easy done. It's absolutely easy done. And you need to recognize you're doing it, because when you fall into that overthinking, overanalyzing mode, you keep yourself in those thoughts. And we can be guilty of keeping ourselves in our own turmoil and our own troubles by constantly replaying old ground, constantly thinking the same thoughts, constantly analysing, pulling away tape. And the truth of the matter is, whatever's happened has happened and it's gone. You are in a new moment now. So a really good way of doing it is actually just slowing down your breathing, focusing in on your breathing, whether you'll feel the rise of your chest and it falling, whether you're going to notice your nostrils flaring slightly and it leaving, but just start focusing on your breathing, focusing on slowing down. Take your breath from your chest right down into your abdomen. So when you're breathing, go right down into your abdomen. Imagine you're blowing up a balloon or a ball in your abdomen, and allow it, when you're breathing in, to really blow that balloon up. And as you're breathing out, feel it coming down. So, and then really pull in a visualization as you do it with this deep breathing deep into your abdomen, and feel that air on the inside of your body as if you're blowing up from the inside. And actually, as you're breathing in, start visualizing a real beautiful light, or golden light, white light, whatever you want to call it, or see it, it's your choice, of a fresh new moment entering. The moment you are in, right here, right now, breathe it in, and as you breathe out, let anything that doesn't serve you well go. Anything that's happened in the last 5 minutes, the last hour, the last week, the last 2 weeks, anything that doesn't serve you well, any tension, any fatigue, any stress, let it go. Breathe in, and actually really visualize a real fresh energy of a new moment coming in, washing through you. And as you breathe out, let anything that doesn't serve you well go. And then take conscious ownership of the thoughts you then think. And if you have been caught up in a negative thinking process or a situation, you need to flip it. So very often after, I will breathe in a new moment, and I will stay in that nice slow breathing mode, that real feeling of that energy really washing through me, breathing out any fatigue, tension, stress, anything that doesn't serve me well. And, from there, it's about then I will usually take an empowering affirmation, a real positive statement in the present tense, to then back it up and change my thinking into a more positive, helpful way. So, I move forward with ease and grace. I move forward feeling relaxed and calm. I am confident of who I am. I am stepping into a truer, more authentic version of me. So really, when you actually stop those thoughts, do your breathe in the fresh new moment, take ownership of the thought you have in that new moment, and make sure you make it a positive one. Okay, let's see what else there is. Jackie, great to see you. I know you've just popped in. And again, you'll get most of this on the replay, but it's lovely for you to join in. Thanks, Jackie. I hope all is well. And Mary, doing the breathing now whilst you speak. Thank you. Yeah, and I think, that breathing is so important. Breathing is powerful. And it's something our body does and our subconscious does for us without us really having to make much effort. It just happens. Our bodies are amazing things. They keep our heart beating, the blood going around our body, keeps us breathing in and out without us really having to do anything at all. But sometimes what happens with our, we tend to be guilty of getting into our heads, getting into the overthinking mode, the overanalyzing mode, the fear of judgment mode, the ego mode, all those things. We have the conditioning, the programming, and all those things. And again, we can totally lose sight of who we are because we become in life almost living from the mind head up of thoughts, mental programming, conditioning, all those things that happen, and our over-analyzing ego head, logical head, self-critical mind, and we lose connection with everything down here. We lose connection with our heart, with our soul, with our spirit, with who we truly are, with the core of who we truly are. And we really need to move down from our heads into our body. I mean, I would strongly advise you every day to make sure that you consciously spend time down in your body, down in your gut, down in your core. Create space. And again, that's when we're doing breathing, it's a really simple way, but very powerful way to do that. And I would always say to you, just, initially just notice your breathing. It's all you need to do. Take your attention away from your thoughts, take your attention away from anything external, just onto your breathing. And just allow yourself to feel that breath coming in and the breath going out. And then consciously slow that down, consciously take it a bit deeper, and consciously move that breath from, high up in the chest where it tends to be, especially if you're stressed or overthinking things through, or frustrated or angry or any of those things, take it right down. Imagine you're blowing that balloon up or that ball up in your abdomen. But really use that picture of that fresh energy of a new moment entering. Because, the moment that's just gone is gone. The moment that is yet to come isn't here. The only moment that's here is exactly here, right now. And that's the one that you need to spend a bit more time in, for you to really connect with that truest, highest, authentic version of yourself. So yeah, I'm going to start sort of pulling this together because, as you know, I always stop when Pete, my gorgeous husband, is due in. Because I believe that when we are with people, we should be with people. When we should be fully present in all we do. I come onto these videos and I give you my presence and I am fully present. I'm not checking phones. I'm not writing, scribbling. I'm not doing anything. I am being present with you. And, I'm very similar. When Pete comes in the door, I am going to be present with him and give him my attention. So I'm going to sum up and pull together, talking about masculine energy, talking about feminine energy, talking about that drive and doing mode, but also that receiving mode, that space, that allowing, that hearing, the intuitive hunches, that creating space so that you actually really can feel and sense what's calling you forwards. And that, what that real beautiful universe meeting, I think if we take inspired action and take responsibility for our own happiness and lives and our own purpose and our own calling, it's like the universe, Lord God, steps in to meet us. And then, it's about acknowledging that and having that faith and trust to act on that and take inspired action. So a mixture of, want you to marry together masculine energy and feminine energy, that doing and that being, that making happen and allowing it to happen, and moving with beautiful ease and grace between the two. And the more that you do it and get to know what those energies feel like and those modes feel like for you, the more intuitively you will start to recognize which one is required in which situation. There are times in life we need to sit back and allow the powers of the universe, the powers of the bigger presence to work through our lives. Opportunities are presented to us, intuitive hunches come our way, callings come our way. But there are also times like then we need to act on it, because otherwise it's wasted. Otherwise, if we sit back and ignore it and go somewhere else and do something else. So, it's that real balance and that real ownership of, you need to own who you are. You need to own your story. You need to own your truth. You need to own your journey. But you need to know that you are loved and supported every step of the way. Hope that makes sense. Any final comments, stick them in. I am just going to acknowledge, see who's here, and thank you all for being in. Yeah, Lynn used to feel that your head and body were completely independent. Have changed so much. Yeah, exactly. You're doing amazingly well and trying to listen to what your body's telling you. Listen to your body. Ask yourself of your body, what do you most need from me right here, right now? What do you most need from me right here, right now? To work at your optimum for me, to really help me connect with the soul and spirit within, to really be at my optimum best. What do you need from me right here, right now? And then honor that. Concentrate on breathing. I'm sure it helps with panic attacks. It absolutely does. Quite happy if you want, maybe next week, next live at 5, we can actually look at panic attacks for a bit of it, and I'll give you some real breathing techniques, if that would be helpful. You can let me know if that would be helpful to you. But I used to have a client that panicked so much, panic attacks went so bad she used to pass out. And I say, so I say I'm very happy. It's not a good thing, panic attacks, and I've had them in my years gone by. I used to have horrendous in my 20s stage fright and panic attacks, to the extent I gave up a career I loved, because I just didn't have the skills at that stage to deal with it. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about that and help you out if you would like. Mary, thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining. And yeah, Mary, another fantastic session. Big thanks. Enjoy your time with Peter. Thank you. Listen, thank you everybody for being here today. If you've come live, thank you for your time. Again, apologise, I didn't put up a post saying I was coming in. Very much playing Mondays a little bit by ear at the moment, especially when I tend to have busy family weekends. But Mary, great to see you. Mary, thank you. Lynn, Jackie, Nuruddin, I know you're here. Ken, brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Heather, fantastic. Robin, thank you. Marlene, Shari, Pauline, Carol, Kamala, Eileen, Harry, Rebecca, John, Philip. All of you have managed to come in live for any of this. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presence. As you know, I do this because I come from a place of service and I like to help. And yeah, and I say it's good. It's something nice that I can do. And if anything I say makes you stop and think in a slightly different way, if anything I say resonates with you, makes you just stop and think about life, about acting or being in a different way, then I've done my job. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm here just to share my own thoughts and beliefs that have come from turning my wounds into wisdom. Really, I think I've had a lot of a lot of difficult, challenging circumstances in my life, and I would like to think that now I can use them for wisdom, and I can also share. By sharing, I can help others. And actually, hopefully today, you've had a little bit of an insight into the peace and the contentment that is within me, which comes from connecting with your truest, authentic, real self, which is that soul and spirit within. So take care. And again, any of you watching the replay, please feel free to put your comments in. I will promise come back and answer any questions or queries. Anyway, take care. Love you all loads. I shall be back in the morning with an affirmation to set you up for a good day. And live at 5 next week, hopefully on the Monday, possibly Tuesday next week, just because we've got family staying, I think, Friday to Monday next weekend. So it may well be Tuesday, but I'll try and let you know. And also, maybe I'll try and pop in before then to share stuff with you as well. But certainly I'll be posting every day affirmations, pause for thoughts, maybe some reflective questions. So make sure to pop by my page. If you don't see me in your newsfeed very often, make sure it's not to do with me, it's to do with Facebook algorithms. I am posting every day. So again, just pop onto my page itself if you think you're not seeing or haven't heard any of my posts coming your way for a bit. Take care, love you loads, and thank you so much for just being here with me today.